What's up, everyone? George Lima here with MuscleMasochist.com. I get asked this question a shitload. Everyone disagrees. Well, excuse me, a lot of people agree. I just think they're wrong. What rep range is the best rep range for strength? Most people agree that for size, it's higher reps. For strength, most people think it's lower reps, and that if you train with higher reps, it's completely worthless. I guess this came from like bodybuilding articles or fucking some article somewhere. Somebody put this information out there that low reps is like the only way to gain strength and size and shit. First, I want to start off by making one point. One of the most legendary squat programs for strength and size, one of the most legendary programs for size, period, that is also known for putting a shitload of strength on you, is a 20 rep squat program. It's one set of 20, 3 days a week on squats. Squats and milk. It makes people strong as fuck. It makes people big as fuck. You're supposed to take 50% of your max and do it for 20 reps and add 5 pounds or 10 pounds, I forget, I guess it would depend on how strong you were, 5 pounds every workout for as long as you possibly can. And many people find that they get pretty fucking close to their old max for very fucking high reps. If you start at 300 pounds for a max and you're using 150 pounds, you might end up at, 225, 250 for a set of 20 or something like that. It's incredible how much strength you can gain in a high rep range on squats, because so much of it comes down to how hard you push yourself. So first, let's just say that you can definitely add strength in a high rep range, okay? So let's just lay that on the table first. Now, I'm gonna say that the best rep range for strength has to do with what moves you from point A to point B faster, not what is best right now for your max. Everyone knows that you have to train near your max if you want to be really good at maxing. But we're not asking what is the best training method for having a high max. We're asking what is the best training method for gaining strength. And you can gain strength on a 5 rep range, a 10 rep range, a 20 rep range, a 100 rep range. You can get stronger on your set of 100. If you did 50 pounds for 100, and now you can do 100 pounds for 100, you're stronger, at least in that rep range. So I'm going to say that it has nothing to do with training really heavy to gain strength. You don't have to train really heavy to gain strength. You can train light and gain strength. You will just gain it in a higher rep range. So, here are the questions. Some people say low reps is the best for strength. How fast can you gain strength doing sets of 3, and for how long? Okay, you start off, you're using 85% of your max for a triple, multiple sets of triples, let's say. You can add weight next week. You can add weight again. Pretty soon you're stalled out. Do you know why you're stalled out? Because the weight got too heavy to keep adding weight every week. So what happened? Was that the best way to gain strength? You gained strength for a month, you got stronger for a month, now the weight is too heavy to keep adding weight. So what then? Backtrack, do it again? Possibly, I guess you could. I guess that's what a lot of people do. Most of the people I work with have been doing that. They've been doing low reps, they stalled out, and they kept doing low reps, and they stayed relatively stalled out or made very little progress over the last 6 months or a year. My thought process is this. You start off using as little weight as possible while still getting the desired result, while still being able to push yourself hard, while still being able to train in a way that makes you gain strength. So if you can gain strength in the 20 rep range, why would you start in the 3 rep range unless you needed to be really good at maxing right now? Now, don't get me wrong, when you use lighter weights, you decondition yourself to max, but you do build strength and size anyway. You build it regardless of whether you're conditioned to max. If you've been training in the 20 rep range for 3 months, you are not very well conditioned for maxing. It doesn't mean you won't have a stronger max than you did. It just means that you are not as good as you could be at maxing because you haven't been practicing it. Now, if you can gain strength in the 20 rep range, and you can add a little bit of weight, 10 pounds, 20 pounds every week for 4 months, while slowly reducing reps over time as as the weight gets heavier, you can't keep doing the same reps. You just put 20 workouts together, let's say 20 workouts, where you were able to push yourself hard, where you were able to gain strength, able to gain size, without getting the weight so heavy that you couldn't keep going heavier. This does not mean that 20 reps is the best way to gain strength. This does not mean that 3 reps is the best way to gain strength. This means that you can gain strength from day 1 all the way to fucking day 300 by starting off with light weights and by peaking up to heavier weights. This is the best way, the fastest way that I have found to gain strength and size. Personally, it's just my thing. I can have clients push themselves hard from day 1 with lighter weights and add weight to their lifts every week for months on end. Whereas I have people that started 5 sets of 5 and they stalled out as soon as the weights got moderately heavy for them. Because everyone knows at 5 sets of 5, you start off with less weight than you can handle. And by the time you get to weight that you can handle, it's only been a few workouts. And what did you really gain? Noob gains, I guess? You would have made strength gains regardless. The best rep range for strength, there is no rep range. It's somewhere between like 1 and 100. I guess that's the rep range. Because you start off using lightweight and you peak up to heavyweight. Slowly. You do not go from 20 reps to your 1 rep max. You go from 20 reps to 19, to 18, to 17. Slowly over time, you work your way back down. This is how strength programs have been successful for the last fucking like 50 years. It's peaking. You peak your strength from lighter weights to heavier weights. I just find that people can also gain strength in, say, like 20 reps. I find people gain tons of strength and tons of size using a rep range they never typically use because they can handle that weight. Their muscles are worked plenty from that weight, and they can keep adding weight for months on end. So there is no ideal rep range. It is pushing yourself hard from day one right up until the weight is so heavy that you can't keep adding more weight. And the longer time you can put in between those two things, the more workouts you can rack up where you gain strength and size. And the more workouts that you can gain strength and size, the bigger and stronger you are in the end. Hope that makes sense to you guys. I do not believe 20 reps are the best way to gain strength. I do not believe 3 reps are the best way to gain strength. It is a combination of all of them over time, with smart assistance work, with a proper diet, with proper mobility, with everything. Everything works. You use it all when you should. This is my take on rep ranges. Hope you guys learned something. Don't forget to check out musclemasochist.com. Like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching, guys.